Hey everyone, it's Fuda here, and I am here to record another 10 types video. Today we are doing 10 types of productivity trackers. So this was requested in one of my last videos. It's something that I talked about a little bit. And one of the things that I want to do with this series is just expose you to a lot of different methods of tracking different types of things. So I've done 10 types of self-care trackers, 10 types of routine trackers, 10 types of meal planning. So I will link all of those in a playlist over up here and then down in the description below as well. And then I will also link to the trackers that I use in here where I got inspiration from and a little bit more context and background information down in the description below. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and start with the first one. And this one, pretty much everyone knows about it, but in case you don't, it's the KanBan Board. So essentially what you're doing with this tracker is you are moving sticky notes across a series of boards. And this is very similar to a lot of actual like electronic forms of KanBan boards. So you think about like Trello and Monday.com and a lot of those types of methods of electronic tracking are based on this idea of a KanBan board. So the example that I gave here is basically producing one of these videos. So you would have a video plan, gather materials, film your video, edit footage, thumbnail and description, and then you upload the video. What you would do is you have a whole bunch of videos that are ideas in the queue, all that kind of stuff, and you add a bunch of sticky notes to that side of the board. I made these boards rather small because I wanted to keep it on one page, but this can easily be a two-page tracker so that you can have a lot of room to be able to have a lot of sticky notes. So then once you create a video plan, so for me, a video plan is ideas, video ideas, and then kind of starting to formulate an idea behind those ideas. So I would put all my sticky notes there. When I'm in the process of getting ready to film, you know, I need to make sure that I have materials in order to do that. If I'm doing a Cricut video, I need to make sure I have the necessary materials. Sometimes that means going to the store. Sometimes that means ordering it. Sometimes that means talking to Cricut, any of those types of things. So gathering materials can be its own spread. And so you just move a sticky note across each of these things. And so these are like the main overarching items. And then there can be several tasks related to that. So filming a video doesn't just mean, oh, I'm filming. Sometimes it means gathering B-roll. Sometimes it means making sure there's multiple camera angles and things like that. Or gathering materials, maybe you have more than one. So you would just move a sticky note across these boards. So that's the idea behind a KanBan board. So the next one is the time tasks, and I have a couple different sources of inspiration up here, Bujo Panda and Nerdy.Teacher. So again, I will link to this stuff in the description down below. So the idea behind this is creating a list of tasks that only take a certain amount of time. So that way, if you have an extra 5 minutes that you're waiting for someone to call you back, something like that, then you can do one of these tasks while you are waiting for that thing to occur. Or maybe you have an hour between a meeting at work or meetings at work, and you have a 60-minute task that you can do that is work related as well. So that's the idea behind this, is just creating a list of things like 5-minute tasks, 15-minute tasks, 30-minute tasks, 60-minute tasks. And you can break that down even more. Number 3 is a weekly reflection. So I decided to include this because I thought it was a great idea for productivity, because you're assessing your previous week and using that to figure out how you can be more productive next week. So you can ask questions at the end of the week, like what tasks were unable to be completed? Why weren't they able to be completed? Were there outside forces that impacted you? For example, if you have a sick kid, maybe that made you less productive in the previous week. what is the priority for next week? So if you didn't get one of those tasks done and it really needs to get done because there's a due date, where do your priorities lie in that task list? What is a task you are proud to complete? So one of the things about doing a reflection is not only focusing on the like quote unquote negatives, but things that you did well and how you did them well so that you can replicate those as well. And then what obstacles did you overcome this week? So for example, if you did have a sick kid, were you still able to complete your entire task list? And how were you able to do that? So those are just a few types of questions. You can find more all around the internet, and you can look at like monthly reflection pages to kind of get an idea of what types of questions you want to ask for that weekly reflection. So number 4 is a productive playlist. So for me, I know when I was in college in particular, I had a few different types of playlists that when I'm studying in some sort of library or study hall, I would have that music playing. And I even do that today when I am working on like a flow board, or if I'm working on a workflow, something like that, something that is a little bit tedious and you need like some extra focus. So one of the things that I do is I do music with no words. That way it's not distracting me. So I do things like Harry Potter soundtracks, and then on Spotify there is specific playlists for like studying. So Soundtrack for Study is one of my favorite playlists on Spotify. So I thought that that would help for reference points when you're looking for like when you want to be productive, and you can reference what types of music helps with your productivity. Number 5 is creating a rewards system. So again, everyone likes rewards. I mean, this is how we train our dog, right? Is you teach them tasks by using incentives and rewards. So giving her a biscuit while you're trying to teach her how to sit or lie down or whatever. If you have a dog like mine, then she doesn't do those tasks unless there's a biscuit now. So maybe that wasn't the best idea, but it's kind of the way you train your brain. So for example, I just have a couple boxes here: film, edit, doing the thumbnail, and then uploading a video. And then you can create a heart at the end of this. And so that heart can be filled in with whatever reward you want to do. So maybe if you get that whole video done, then you can go get Starbucks, or, you know, little things. Or if it's a big project, maybe you have these and you do a very big reward. So creating a reward structure is really helpful for productivity. Number 6 is doing a weekly schedule. So the reason I included this one is because scientifically there are certain days of the week that you are more productive than others. So making a weekly schedule to reflect your just inherent level of productivity can be really important. And making sure that you maybe not schedule meetings or whatever you're doing, like doctor's appointments or something like that. Maybe you don't schedule those on your most productive day. So scientifically, the most productive day is Tuesday. Do I know why? Absolutely not. I guess because Monday is, you're feeling the Mondays. Tuesday is basically the Monday that you actually start working. And then by the end of the week, you're just looking forward to the weekend. So I'm assuming that's why Tuesday, but I don't really know. So you can see here that I put the hardest tasks on Tuesday. So when you're thinking about your to-do list and you're thinking about how you're prioritizing at the beginning of the week, maybe you make sure that, you know, you leave some easy tasks or have some meetings scheduled on a Monday. And then on Tuesday, you really bulk up your to-do list with a lot of items. So for me, Thursdays is my huge meeting day. So I pretty much don't schedule a lot of to-do list items outside of my couple of items when it comes to work. I don't schedule like doing a workflow. That's never going to happen because I'm just bogged down with meetings on a Thursday. So getting a visual of your weekly schedule can really help when it comes to how you're prioritizing tasks and your productivity level for those tasks. Number 7 is a daily focus. So if you do daily sections, I think this could be a really helpful tool for your priorities. So a lot of people have a couple of priorities in a day, right? You have like 3 to 4 maybe priorities. So if you include this progress bar and their priorities that have multiple tasks to them, for example, inbox 0 isn't just I read my emails and I'm done. It usually means I'm reading emails, I'm getting rid of the junk that is in my inbox, I'm responding and completing tasks that people have requested of me, I'm assigning anything that can't get done that day to a different day. And then at the end of the day, I have absolutely no emails in my inbox. Everything is either archived or there's a to-do flag for a different day. So then you can add a progress bar while you're getting all of these little things done for your overarching goal. So these are great ideas for daily goals and your daily priorities. Number 8 is the annual productivity tracker. You guys have seen this probably about 8 million times, is the year in pixels. So you can also do a year in pixels for your productivity. For example, I have these several boxes labeled 0 through 10, and I've assigned productivity levels to each of those numbers. If you don't want to do 0 through 10 or 1 through 10, you can do 1 through 5 or 1 through 3, you know, whatever you are most comfortable with. But I have 10 as extremely motivated and finished more than my to-do list. 5 would be got my priority tasks done today, but maybe didn't complete my entire to-do list. Or 0 is I didn't get out of bed today, I didn't do a thing. So assigning different colors to each of these productivity levels, and then you have an annual year in pixels. And so if I had a productivity level of 10 on January 1st, which does not sound like that would ever happen because people are recovering, you would just put in the purple color on the 1st. If I have a yellow color now, and that is number 7, and that is where I ranked January 2nd, then you would just put in yellow here. So each day would be a different color assigned to that productivity level. And then this can also help when it comes to figuring out where your most productive days are. So if you're looking at trying to figure out if Tuesday is your most productive day, then doing this annual productivity tracker, or even just doing it on a monthly basis and seeing where your most productive days actually lie, that can help you formulate your weekly schedule. So for 9 and 10, these are things that I've actually done in my bullet journal. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that out. So the first one is quarterly goals. So this is the same idea as the daily progress bars, but doing it on a quarterly basis. Scientifically, it makes sense to do quarterly goals. For some reason, that tends to work better than overarching goals that you make at the beginning of the year. So if you make those overarching goals and then once a quarter, you are breaking those goals down into smaller things that are actually achievable towards those large overarching goals, then that makes you more productive. And I will link to those scientific papers and things. I've talked about this before in some of my goal setting videos, so I will link those down below as well. So having little progress bars, so each of these is a 25% completion. This is a page I just set up. I have not done anything on this page, although I have completed some of this stuff. So for example, the fence in our backyard, there's only 2 tasks here. So each of these would be 50%. So I did pay the down payment, so that would be 50% that I mark on the progress bar. And technically there is a schedule. They have a schedule for the week of blank. I don't have a specific day yet. So I would actually probably do another 25% on that. And so once it does get scheduled, then that would be complete. So that's an example of how you can use that same different type of progress bar as your productivity tracker and breaking down your annual to quarterly goals. And you can break it down further, going from quarterly to monthly goals, monthly to daily, or monthly to weekly, things like that. So breaking those down into more achievable tasks. So that's why I have my overarching goal up here, and then you can see 2 different tasks related to that item. And then the one that people requested, because I talked about doing this for my July and I actually put it into my July spreads, is this productivity tracker by the Boosted Journal. Again, I will link those down below. So the idea behind this is you can do a lot of things with this type of productivity tracker. For example, you can create a rewards incentive program based on the different levels. So if you achieve level 1, you can reward yourself. If you achieve the end of level 2, you can reward yourself, etc. And then basically what you're doing is you're taking your most common activities and you're assigning an icon to them. And when you complete those activities, you include it on this productivity tracker. Now, this is a little nicer than just doing a to-do list, because when you're looking at the productivity tracker, you're thinking about your most common activities. So when I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about my most common work activities, my most common household activities, and my most common business activities. And so you can really weigh what is considered productive and what is considered not. For example, I included things like self-care in my home productivity because I'm not productive unless I'm taking care of myself as well. So I've included that in my productivity tracker. So this can give you an idea and help you weight different things for your productivity. You can also use this tracker as, oh, these items I consider level 1 productivity, or these items I consider level 2 productivity because they require more effort. For example, if I'm filming 5 videos in a day, you know, that could be considered a level 3 productive day versus just 1. And you can even use 5 different tiles just for filming. So that's the idea behind this productivity tracker. So I do have a whole video about this from last week, so I will link that. And then the Boosted Journal has a great video about all the ins and outs of this tracker. He also has not only the levels, but he has like a pre-planning part of his productivity tracker that helps him when it comes to prioritizing and daily tasks. I personally decided not to use that for my productivity tracker, but that is also a really good method. So those are all 10 of the productivity trackers that I have for you today. I hope this video was really helpful. Again, I will link a bunch of resources down below on how to be more productive and how some of these trackers work, and who I got inspiration from for several of these trackers. If you want to watch more of these videos, again, there will be a link up in the cards and in the description below for other 10 types of trackers for your bullet journals. So thank you guys so much. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that kind of jazz, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.